So hello and welcome to our first ever review on this channel. So today we'll be having a look at this guy here. It's the ZeTime Smartwatch from the Swiss company MyKronoz. We obtained this watch via Kickstarter, where the company managed to secure a whopping $5.3 million in funding from about 2,600 backers, one of which was me. The campaign itself, a few words to it, went pretty smooth, like really in terms of Kickstarter. They did post regular updates, and also for the delivery schedule, if I remember correctly, they were behind about 1 month or so before we actually received our watches, which is pretty awesome. What they're also keen to point out right at the beginning of the video is their Swiss heritage when it comes to watchmaking and design, followed by a really bold claim that they are going to build a smartwatch without compromises. So yeah, let's see how this fares and have a look if they succeeded in their quest. So the whole thing actually arrives in a really nice packaging, really looks and feels premium. And if we open this box up to see what's inside, well, first of all, we do have the standard charger. To the left there's the metal band. This metal band actually is only available and included because we bought the premium option. Yeah, moving on, we do have a second band, this time in leather. In this configuration with the green stitching, it's actually also a Kickstarter edition, so it won't be available in retail. Sorry guys, you will have to choose another color. But there are several other colors available, so for our second watch we do have actually the orange leather option. And as a third band, there's the standard silicone one included. Another thing about the bands, these are standard 22mm watch bands, so you can actually fit any band you like on the watch. You don't have to use the included ones. The last thing left is the watch. So for our option, which we chose, it's the brushed titanium one. Looks and feels pretty nice. What we also got in addition to the standard package is the premium charger. In comparison to the normal charger, this one you can really put on your desk and you can mount the watch facing yourself, so you can tell the time, see notifications while charging, and it also just looks and feels more premium than a normal charger. So physical appearance then, well, how does the watch look and feel? So one word, pretty awesome. So that's 2 words actually. But it's a pretty classy and clean looking design. I like it a lot. In fact, most people when first looking at the watch won't even recognize it's a smartwatch, which really is a good thing in my opinion. One of the most defining features of the watch are the mechanical hands. So there are real mechanical hands on top of the touchscreen, also looking really good. And as a pro side, you can also tell the time like always without having the screen on. The watch band I'm having on right now is the Metal Link, so the Milanese Metal Link band. It's a really nice finish. A good thing about it is also you can close it stepless, so it also always perfectly fits your hand. So I don't think I will need the 2 extra bands that came with the watch. So before actually turning the watch on, we will now first have a quick rundown on the specifications. So first of all, the watch itself is a good 44mm wide with 12.8mm in thickness. So the watch of course is also waterproof. It is rated for 5 ATM, so no problem leaving it on for a shower or going swimming. I've been swimming with it for a full day and never take it off in the shower, so no problem so far. So the battery of the watch is rated for 200 mAh. Per the manufacturer, this should last you for about 3 days of use in smartphone mode and 30 days in analog mode. But I don't really know how you would drain this battery in like 3 days with normal usage. I regularly get over a week, and so no worries there. Charging once a week is just fine. The built-in display is a standard TFT panel with a diameter of 1.22 inches. For the resolution we do have 240 by 240 pixels. Well, it's not retina or anything like that, but it's perfectly fine. It's really sharp, easy to read. And also the brightness, it's like, okay, you can even read it outside in the sunlight, so no problem there. Only slightly negative point is there is no automatic adjustment of the brightness of the screen, so you would have to do this manually. In terms of charging, yeah, the standard charger does include a battery. So there's a battery inside the charger, which means you can even charge the watch if there's no socket or outlet available to you. One negative, slightly negative point would be the micro USB cable. So we would really love to see a Type-C port because it's just more sturdy, more durable. Yeah, to sum up the hardware part, again, the watch looks and feels really amazing. I would give them full marks there. And as far as their statement of no compromises stand, well, I would give it to them. They really did achieve this for the hardware and for the physical appearance of the watch. Really loving it. So leaving the pure hardware side of things behind us, and as mentioned, we will now have a closer look at the software side. At this point, I've been using this watch for about 2 months on a daily basis, like really 24/7. So first of all, let's have a look at the companion app on the phone. So if you open up the app, you're right here at the dashboard. What you can see is the stats of your tracked steps, distance, calories, your active minutes and sleep. So you can also move through the days and see how you did. Furthermore, there's the option for every one of these stats to see the weekly overview. Sleep is also tracked. You also get a nice graph when you went to sleep, how much light sleep, deep sleep you get. It's not that accurate. First of all, you have to set the range in which sleep tracking is active, and in that range it starts tracking. But sometimes if you're working on a, let's say on a keyboard for longer, if you're watching a movie or something like that, it often starts tracking sleep. You can set different types of reminders, so there's everything from sports, sleep, eating, personal reminders. Moving on to the last category then, settings. For the most part, this is just set and forget, so most of these things you will just set when you open the app for the first time, and you will never have to change them. The customization really isn't there. I have everything enabled, and lots of notifications are not supported, lots of apps are not supported. Watch faces, yeah, you can choose from few predefined ones. It's about, I guess, about 24. And if you do not like one of these, you can also always create your own watch face by uploading a picture. Yeah, that's about it for the quick rundown of the app. Nothing really more to show there. So let's move on to the watch. So let's turn on the watch then for the first time. This is done by a simple button press. Unfortunately, there is no double tap to wake or something which you would be used to from phones, which I really would like to have on the watch. Yeah, moving on to a quick rundown of the main features. A simple swipe to the right will get you in the fitness tracking. So these are the same values as you saw in the app. You can either swipe through them or use the wheel at the side. Pull down will open the shortcut menu. So here you have features like weather, also the weather forecast. You can change your brightness on the watch. You can also heart rate measurement. So if you disable the automatic tracking, so the interval tracking, you can also always start the manual measurement. It will take a few seconds. Okay. Let's believe that. Then swipe in this direction opens the general menu, which again has quite a few items which were also in the shortcut menu. There's a call log, message log. You can also move further into the menu where you can get to your sleep data. Then there's also music control. So you can see the track that's currently playing. You have the option to increase or decrease volume and also skip tracks. The volume increase and decrease is also possible via the wheel, which is pretty nice. Only downside is if the screen fades out, you have no option to change the volume, so turning the wheel is not recognized anymore. And also skipping tracks is not possible. You always have to enable the screen and then click on the screen to skip a track, which is unfortunate. Then there's also calendar, of course. And you can also use a timer or countdown on the watch. Moving back to the main watch face then. So there's one thing left. So the main feature of a smartwatch, at least in my opinion, notifications. So if a notification arrives, the smartwatch will turn on, vibrate, and you can see the notification. And if you tap on it, it will automatically open. And as you can see, the hands of the watch automatically move out of the way. If you close it, they will move back to show the time. That's it for the main features of the watch, at least the ones I do use. So we're done with the basic features. Now just a few more general notes on the software side. There's music control, which I use very often, which is 2 swipes away. So it's just a pity that the shortcut menu is not customizable or anything. So I do have options I almost never use, like Find My Phone. And other things I often use are further away, so this would be a great improvement. Then moving on to fitness, I also forgot to mention the fitness data is only stored on the phone. So you can't synchronize it to anything like Google Fit or any third-party service. And then just on a more general note, at least for me, I still do get regular disconnects, so Bluetooth disconnects of the watch, which results in notifications missed, calls missed, because I've been using smartwatches for like 3 years now, 4 years now. My phone is on complete silent mode, always. So everything that doesn't show on the watch, I completely miss. So Bluetooth connection losses is just unfortunate and really bad. Moving on to the conclusion then. Well, to sum it up shortly in a sentence, I would say it's a really, physically speaking, stunning product that unfortunately is held back by its software implementation. So to elaborate a bit more, as I said, physically speaking, I really like the appearance, the build quality of the watch, awesome. Also the way of telling the time with the mechanical hands over the touchscreen, pretty unique, and I like it a lot. But unfortunately, from the software side of things, there are lots of tiny flaws and bugs that really do add up. And one of the major drawbacks, a really major drawbacks, I would say, is the notification support. So there's only a handful of notifications or apps supported, and in order to get something supported, you would have to call the devs and hope for them to implement it. This is really a drawback and a step back when you compare it to my previous smartwatch, where literally every notification of every app could be pushed to the watch. So will I continue to use this watch on a daily basis? Yeah, for sure. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. So the creators won't like it, but what it comes down to is really, again, compromises. Yeah, thanks for watching our review of the ZeTime Smartwatch. We really hope we could help you if you're currently looking for a smartwatch. Yeah, other than that, nothing more to say then. If you liked the video, please press that like button, subscribe for future content, and see you next time.